Just been getting packed and ready to go for our trip to Europe. This is our first study trip together, and so we'll be spending a lot of time together. I'd like to briefly go with you through the agenda so you have an idea of what we're going to be doing on each day, and you also get a sense of what's expected of you. So, on Wednesday, you'll be expected to have your passport and your luggage and your positive mental attitude. From there, we'll travel by coach under the Eurotunnel to Brussels. So, on the first day, we'll spend visiting the European Union, the Parliament in Brussels. You'll be expected to dress in business casual, and I'll speak a little bit more about that at the end. Needless to say, you'll be expected to present yourselves at the European Parliament fresh, interested, and as we always say, with your best foot forward. From there, we'll travel on to Aachen and we'll install ourselves in the A&O hostel. You can see their website and all the amenities that they have for you. In there, we will share rooms and we will have the opportunity to break into teams in pairs of four, 2 teams of 4, to share rooms in our next session. And so it's crucial that you attend. On the Thursday, we have our first breakfast meeting at 8 a.m. There again, we want to assemble in the morning to pass on any last-minute notes about the day's visits. And of course, the day leader will reaffirm what the day's agenda is. On Thursday, we'll be visiting a small bank that deals with small and medium-sized enterprises. It's a regional bank, not a national one, and it supports specifically small and medium-sized enterprises in the region. This would be a fascinating trip. And again, in our final session before we take off, we'll discuss some of the kinds of questions that you'll want to ask and looking at how they support businesses in doing business outside of Germany and including in the post-Brexit environment. After our visit to the bank on Thursday, we will have a walk over to FHA. It's the Volkshochschule Aachen, the technical university that we cooperate with, and that Holger, who you have in the second year, and I are also visiting lecturers at this university in cross-cultural management. You'll have lunch there in the school canteen with local students. This is a great opportunity to mix and mingle and find out what it's like to study and live and work in Germany, and particularly this city. You'll meet students who are local and students who are from different parts of Germany. You'll also meet Erasmus students, and Erasmus is a program that brings students from within the EU together to exchange at different universities. And so in the canteen on this first day, you'll have the opportunity to orient yourselves because on the next day, we'll be returning. So then you'll spend about 4 or 5 euros of your own on lunch in the canteen. These are the groups that we discussed before the Christmas holiday, and then we also said that are going to be our groups for the podcast assignment. In groups, this is your first team challenge. You have a scavenger hunt, and you have to meet and reach different sites throughout the city on your own volition, using your own skills, and lead and motivate your group. You have the opportunity to reflect upon this in the second assignment, so do take note of how the experience goes. Also, again, packing tip, bring comfortable shoes and bring layers because we don't know what the temperature will be. It's time of year where it's up and down, but needless to say, it'll probably be cold outside and warm inside. So you want to bring layers so that you can be dressed appropriately and comfortable. Is a management experience where you will go through an assembly line. You'll have different roles along the assembly line, and then you'll take a pause to break and reflect on it. And you have an analysis that the tutor will take you through to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of your assembly line. You'll return and you'll repeat that process a few times, and through this skills-based learning, you will develop a set of management skills within the context. And also you have a pretty neat experience. We'll have the chance to have a cultural tour along the region. We'll visit the 3 nations, the Netherlands, Belgium, and of course Germany. We'll visit some historical points. We would also want you to prepare on Saturday for us to leave very early Saturday morning, so you'll need to pack. And so accordingly, on Sunday morning, we'll return back to the UK. As a final reminder, before you go, make sure that you have your travel documents with you and that you've uploaded them to the Nile site under the travel docs link that's on the left, so that you share those with the university ahead of time. Many of you have already done so. Thank you very much. Make sure that you carry those documents with you on board in the bus and don't pack them in your bag in your suitcases underneath the bus. You'll need them, of course, to travel across the borders. Make sure also that you're rested, that you have copies of your passports in a separate location in your luggage or perhaps in your wallet. Make sure also that you come with a positive mental attitude. It's important that you understand that travel can be stressful. Being with a group of people with whom you're not very familiar can bring about unforeseen challenges. When you come with a positive mental attitude, you face all of those peacefully and you're able to motivate the group. Speaking of motivation, there are several opportunities for you to lead upon this trip. You are to give a wake-up call in real time or virtually, because we'll set up a WhatsApp group amongst us or a Facebook group, however is most convenient for you, and to make sure that everyone knows what time they're supposed to assemble for all the different activities. You're to welcome the students on the bus and make sure that you keep count, that we don't lose any students along the way. And you're to offer the gratuities to the host. We have gifts from the university to thank our hosts, be it the businesses or the university that's hosting us, to thank them for the different sessions that they give to us. And so the day leader will present that on behalf of the group. We also have a motivational activity on the bus. We'll spend a long time on the bus, and there are portions that are left out for a karaoke. Karaoke is, of course, an activity that gets you prepared for physically in being involved in the day's activities, but also it promotes team cohesion. This is something that's very important on a trip. As we said, and many have reiterated to you, we need to think of ourselves as a team and look out for one another, especially because this is all new and unfamiliar to many of us. I caution that a karaoke leader has to inject a bit of energy into the group. Now, that person's responsibilities, there will be a different one each day, is to also take note of the well-being of the group and report any challenges to the tutors that need to be worked out, or any conflicts of interest, or conflicts even between class members that need to be worked out or perhaps could benefit from mediation. So it's that person's responsibility also to take note and take notice of how the group is doing overall, the general well-being. So there'll be a form for each of those sets of leaders to fill out, just to report how things went and reflect on their own leadership in this respect. We'll be working with one of the other tutors in completing the form and thinking about how do we go about reflective writing, because of course this ties into your ability to gain benefit from this trip in terms of expressing your own employability skills to the outside world, but equally within the assessments in the classroom here. Thank you very much. We wish you a good time, and I look forward to seeing you in Germany, in Belgium, and in the Netherlands, and along our bus. Happy travels.